It's not working. Not working. What are we gonna do?
It says live.
Now it says live. Are we live?
I don't know. It's still contemplating it. We're live.
Carrie's behind the camera. I am Brian Grasso. This is Brian&Carrie in the morning. Welcome to our pre-show. Now,
Good morning.
today, do you ever feel as though you're holding yourself back, but you don't know why or how to change it? Whew.
It was a mouthful, wasn't it?
Big topic, man. What are the 4 essential things you must do every single day to release yourself from all that overthinking, self-doubt, and procrastination? I memorized that whole thing.
That was impressive. And
Yes.
fear.
Well, fear's not the topic,
I know.
but
I just
fear.
decided to throw it in.
Now I gotta do the whole thing all over again.
No, you did
Man.
great.
So listen, that is today's topic. We have a barn burner show. This is our pre-show. We get live rolling with Brian and Carrie in the morning at 10 a.m., which is 9 minutes from now.
It is.
So I got a couple things to say. Number one, that is a massive topic. You know you're holding yourself back. Mm-hmm. And you know people who know they're holding themselves back. So let's share this out right now. Let's aim high, people.
50. Can I pick?
1 second.
50.
Go ahead.
50 shares today.
We're looking for 50 shares today because this is an important topic. People hold themselves back. They overthink. They self-doubt. They procrastinate. We have 4 essential steps that you do every single day in order to get rid of that self-doubt, procrastination, overthinking. So 50 shares. Let's do this together.
And I want to add.
Yeah.
We do these every day. Because I think that, like, it's what, do it every day, right? How many times have you heard people say, like, do something every day, but then they don't do it every day?
Yeah.
We do this every day.
Every day. And we're going to get to that too. But you know what in the pre-show I want to say?
What do you want to say?
I want to say good morning to Tiffany Maxim.
Sorry.
I want to say good morning to Lynette Macias because on our monitor right here, we can see you chiming in. And I have a question of the day.
You're on fire.
I'm on fire.
Okay.
Here's the question of the day for you.
For me, okay.
I'm going to ask it to you, and I want your answer. And I'm going to ask it to myself. And if it's okay, because I've already got my answer, I am going to answer myself.
You can answer after I answer?
Or before.
Or after. Go ahead.
You guys chime in too. Are you ready? Are you ready? What are you holding yourself back from?
I like that.
Yeah, do you want me to answer right now?
Go ahead.
Business. Which is a very funny answer coming from me because if you know, I've been historically very, very successful in business. But Carrie, who is my wife and my business partner, is going to recognize this. You know what I do? I overthink.
Yeah.
I overcomplicate. I get too caught up in the minutia at times. Mm-hmm. I hold myself back from simplicity and streamlined ease in business. Mm-hmm. We create an idea. Idea to creation involves me, years ago, overcomplicating the entire process, overthinking the entire process, making it way more challenging and complex than it needs to be. You know what that led to? It led to doubt, and it led to procrastination. We didn't even get things to market.
Right.
Because of me. So does that still hamper me? Yes, it does. And that's a vulnerable, honest admission. If it wasn't for these 4 things, I would still keep us stuck.
Right.
But I do these 4 things every single day, so I eliminate them. But they're there if I don't do these 4 things. So what are you holding yourself back from?
Right.
I'm going to look at some people.
Good morning, Jesse Williamson. You are not...
No, this is the pre-show.
You're not late.
What are you laughing at?
No, you're not late.
No.
The show starts at 9, actually at 10 o'clock. So this is just kind of like the warm-up phase.
Yes.
And good morning, Brian Sakowicz.
I like that you tried his last name.
I tried. Tell me,
Sakowicz.
did I pronounce that properly, Brian Sakowicz?
Good morning, Sandy, who's in New York right now.
For those of you who are just chiming in, Brian just asked the question, what are you holding yourself back from?
Yes.
Right? Now, it's a funny thing that you asked that question because I had to think about that for a second. I mean, not because I'm not holding myself back from everything, because I think none of us are perfect and we're constantly growing. But I actually think the answer that I'm going to give to that is I'm holding myself back from being completely pain-free.
Oh, nice.
Now, what do I mean by that?
Yes.
I have, as you know, obviously, I've suffered from pretty chronic headaches for the last 7 years.
Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the comments.
Sakowicz.
Like a bag of brains.
You're so smart.
That's awesome.
I've suffered from some significant headaches and, been not like I'm laying there just waiting for them to go away. Like, I've been proactive in it.
Very.
But it's the one thing that I have to be uber diligent in doing all my recovery work and my exercises to help kind of facilitate the process of healing that. And it's the one thing in my, my physical world, my fitness and health, that it's kind of like still the last thing I get to.
And you're not a victim to it. No. It's the diligence of making sure you do the daily efforts, right? It's a very interesting thing. I want to say this because we have 5 minutes left in our pre-show. You know what I'm noticing right now? A whole lot of not comments. No, but I'm being very cynical. I'm being very serious about this in a non-cynical way. When we're talking about motivational, inspirational stuff, everybody loves to chime in. Everybody's a fucking expert. Everybody's got the advice, and everybody says, oh, just do this and just do that. But when I lay it on the line and say, what are you holding yourself back from? No one's got it. Tiffany Maxim so far is the only person who said, you know what, fitness. Yeah. I hold myself back from fitness. But that's telling. It's telling, and we're going to explain why today. It's telling.
It's still quiet. It's still quiet.
It is. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Christine. Lisa Draplook, Mama Drap, says she's holding herself back from lots of things, but most importantly, happiness. Oh, I love that. Now, that's an admission.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to say on an open forum, well, I'm not very happy.
Sure.
Or I'm not in the physical fitness or shape I want to be in, or I don't have the money I want. Nobody wants to say that, but we just did.
Right.
And there's a couple people who are.
Yeah.
So I want you to have a really strong look in the mirror about this. Yeah. You love to tell everybody else what to do. You love to chime in with comments that say, oh, look at here, I read this poster, this is all you have to do. But when the question comes to you and says, what are you holding yourself back from? Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing.
So some of our graduates from some of our programs are chiming in now. Christine Basista also said happiness. Michelle Adams said success.
Yes.
Love that I love that people are kind of going to the real core.
Yes.
Happiness is a very core. It's not I'm holding myself back from losing 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. It's very deep. It's very profound.
Happiness. That's mostly what I'm seeing. Success, says Michelle Adams. Hold myself back from taking risks, says Brian Sakowitz. Bag of brains.
Casey Arnold,
that was awesome, by the way, because you wrote, I completely hold myself, and I want to say, that's what she said.
You're so bad.
That's what she said.
But I want to chime in on Casey Arnold for a second, because Casey Arnold's one of our current private mentor clients.
Yes, yeah.
And I just want to acknowledge for you out loud here that you have done so much better at not holding yourself back. So you are in the process of releasing all those things that you've been holding yourself back from.
Agreed.
And a massive thumbs up to you for that.
I love this. Aaron Johnson says, posters and slogans never work for me. I need something more. That's why you're here, and I love that. Kristen Johnson, I tend to hold myself back from moving on and letting go. This is good. I love that. So many things, says Jesse Williamson. Top 3, healthy living, organization, and consistent discipline with my kids. Huge overthinker, and then I overwhelm myself and stay in the same place. That's exactly what I said.
Right.
That used to be me, and if I'm not careful, if I don't use these 4 essential musts every single day, I still find myself there, Jesse,
absolutely.
So I can relate completely.
And we're gonna kick off the show in a few minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, but we're gonna get into the whole reality that holding yourself back and having those limitations does not make you a weaker person,
not at all.
A bad person. It should not attack your self-worth, right? And we're going to get into that and kind of paint the picture and understanding that it's not a sign of why you're not good enough. and being able to openly admit that is so powerful.
It makes you human.
Yeah.
Everybody on Facebook, all of this grandstanding we all see every single day, the perfect life, the perfect business, it's all a load of shit. And one of the problems is you don't know that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we just admitted 2 things we hold ourselves back within. For me, business. For Carrie, the final restoration or restitution with her headaches. And here we are, the experts who teach you how to stop holding yourself back, but we have things we hold ourselves. We're human. We're human. There's no self-worth concern for us saying that.
And can I say quickly that 5 years ago, we wouldn't have been as open in admitting that vulnerably. I think that's so important to say. We had to go on our own journey to being comfortable with admitting that, right? So we're all human. We're all the same. Let's talk about the 4 things.
It's 10 o'clock right now, so welcome to Brian and Carrie in the Morning. We are live 5 days a week from Montreal, Canada. We actually have an announcement about the whole Montreal, Canada part in a couple weeks, but we'll get there. Join us live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Pre-show starts at 9:50 Eastern Standard Time. We love that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic is a massive one. So what we want you to do is remember this, okay? If you are holding yourself back, or you get the feeling you're holding yourself back from something you want in life, but you don't know why, how to change it, this show is going to make your world a different place. These are the 4 essential things you must do every day in order to stop overthinking, self-doubt, and procrastination. 50 shares is what we're looking for today, so please help us out right now.
Yes.
And with that,
let's do it.
Here is the daily mic drop. So, when it comes to losing weight, all that we ever see as something to buy is a trainer or an expert who is selling us the perfect training program and nutrition plan. When it comes to building a successful business, all we ever seem to see is the business expert talking to us or selling to us something about a tactic, a strategy, or a system for business success. When it comes to having the love and the relationship that we want, we desperately want in life, all we ever seem to see are love and relationship sex experts talking to us about tips and strategies and tools to find the perfect love, keep the perfect love, and have great sex and babies with that perfect love. Now here's the problem. None of that shit works. It does not work sustainably. Please, let us shout it out from the rooftops together. That shit doesn't work, and here's why. That shit is akin or equivalent to a seed. It is the perfect seed, the perfect rosebud seed. It is the best expert in the world at what they do, telling you exactly what you need to do to finally achieve the things you want. Here's the problem with the seed. If you plant it in a pile of dog shit, it doesn't grow. If you plant it in cement, it doesn't grow. If you plant it in quicksand, it doesn't grow. The seed is all you're ever sold. It's all you ever look for. It's all you've been conditioned to believe you need. But what you really need is to nourish the soil. Where are you planting the seed? Now here's the meme I want you to remember, to etch into your brain, to wake up regurgitating, to fall asleep going, man, Brian and Carrie, I can't get this out of my head. You cannot out-goal set an unsuccessful mindset. Your mindset is the soil. If you're planting that perfect seed in dog shit, it won't grow. If you spend the time to nourish your mindset, nourish the soil from which or in which you're planting that seed, everything grows. It can't not grow. And that's the problem. We're looking for solutions in the wrong place. The soil is more important than the seed. Now, I am not in any way a painter or anything to do with handyman work. It's just not me. But I am smart enough to know this. If I want to paint that wall purple, the ability for that wall to be painted purple and sustainably look purple for a long time is not based on the purple. It's based on the primer I put underneath the paint. The paint is the seed, and it has to be good. But if the primer isn't good, the paint doesn't matter. Now, for what I lack as a handyman, I'm a pretty good cook. So I will say this, you give me the best steak in the entire world. Perfect steak, that's the seed. But if I don't season it, or I overcook it, it sucks. The soil is how you prepare or prime that steak to be cooked. Your mindset, the way you think, the way you perceive, how you see the world and yourself is your soil. Today's show is all about learning to nourish that soil. When you do that, every seed grows. Until you do that, no seed grows. And that is today's mic drop. I've left my wife breathless.
Sometimes you talk and you say so much.
That was awesome.
In the most amazing way. But then when you're done, I'm like, I can't remember if it was point A or point P that I wanted to start with. So I don't know where to go. But, you know, the first thing I want to say is that, like, we've talked a great deal this week about like the motivational quotes and posters.
Yeah, they don't work.
And how much like we preach the rhetoric.
Yep.
And this is another one of those perfect examples, because we all know, like, you know, you can't build a house on a shaky foundation. You know, like you can't, you know, you can't plant a seed in a soil that's not prepared.
Absolutely.
Like, we talk about that all the time.
Sure.
But we don't actually integrate it into our lives. And I think that the reason we don't integrate it into our lives, and we, again, you know, we're coming back to the how. We're that bridge between what you want and how to get it.
Right.
People don't know how to do that.
And
how do you build a foundation?
This is today's show.
Right? You wouldn't negate the fact, you know, and I'm going to give another example, because you talked about paint on a wall.
My wife is fired up. Tell the people.
You talked about paint on a wall.
Yes.
But you can take that into so many different examples of priming, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking about makeup for a second, you know? Like, every woman on the planet knows that to get the best application of makeup, you want to put on a primer or a moisturizer, right? Like, everybody knows that. Well, you're not a woman, so it's okay. We all know that. We all accept that. But we don't integrate it into our life from the deeper understanding. And, like, here's the last thing I'm going to say is that your life is all that matters. And you said something yesterday so powerful. You said that, you know, you're not going to get out of this alive. Yeah. And when you said that, all of those hearts like scrolled across the screen, right? So if you're not priming your life, there's no point in priming anything else, right?
You're going to continue holding yourself back.
Exactly.
So let's do this, okay? A couple of things. If you're liking today's topic so far, you like the mic drop and Carrie's addition to the mic drop, give us some hearts right now. Let us know you're enjoying this. And don't forget, we're looking for 50 shares today. What we're going to go into today is the 4 essential musts you have to do every single day in order to prime your mindset, prime the soil so that everything you plant grows. These are essentials, okay? I'm seeing lots of hearts. I appreciate that. Let's get this shared out to the world right now. Ask your questions, make your comments. At the end of the show, we'll scroll up and talk to you directly. Where do we start?
Surprise!
Right here.
Everybody's going to hate you by the end of the
Brian and Carrie Let's Eliminate Your Limits Journal, because everything we're going to talk about today is self-contained in here. This is your one-stop shop. This is about priming your life, okay? So today we're going to, what are the 4 things? Well, they're count your wins, review your direction, learn your language, and imagine your outcome. We're going to break them down very quickly, very actionably for you today. Why do we count our wins every single day? This is really easy. Because the human brain has evolved to be more negative than it is positive. And if you want proof positive of that, do yourself a favor right now and think of the worst day you've ever had. The most challenging, difficult, stressful, horrible day you've ever had. Picture it right now, okay? And while you're picturing it, try to remember and bring back into you all the emotions you felt that day. The dread, the anger, the frustration, the fear. Bring it all into you. Now stop. Now, think about the best day you've ever had in your entire life and do the exact same thing. Bring about the joy and the fulfillment and the love and all the happiness you felt. Now compare those two. You still respond to the negativity and the horrible emotions. Then you respond, react, and remember those more than you do the positive ones. That's proof positive. We are wired to hold on to negativity. We're wired to see negativity. We're wired for fear. We're wired for self-doubt. We are not wired the other way. Counting your wins is a subtle but powerful stimulus that really re-engineers brain synapses and starts to change unconscious language so that your perspective shifts and you start to see, remember, experience, and retain positivity more.
Absolutely. I think counting your wins is my favorite of the 4 personally.
Powerful.
So here's how you do it. And it's really simple. It really is. At the end of the day, you're going to sit down and you're going to spend a few minutes thinking about your day and your goals and everything that you're trying to accomplish in your life. And you're going to literally write out a list of your wins. Now, what is a win, right? And we've talked about this before. We actually mentioned it yesterday. We're not talking about the big aha moment. Like, I made $20,000 today. You know, that is a win. And if that happened today, great. But if you're looking for those big aha moments all the time, then you might be missing all the little wins along the way. And the little wins along the way are what accumulate to make the change in your life, right? Like, let's face it. So, you know, for example, I'm actually going to give a real life example without naming names. Somebody that we know who we've coached in the past recently, went into a new job. And the new job didn't work out. It didn't jive with her. She didn't enjoy it.
Sure.
So she essentially left, packed up, and moved to somewhere else in her world. Something that was calling her. Something that was in her heart. And we know because we've known her for a long time. And in this person's brain, they were perceiving it as a failure.
Yeah.
And here I did an immediate perspective shift. I was like, that's a huge win. Are you kidding me? You decided to prioritize what was in your heart and do what was feeling good instead of what was feeling bad.
Right.
We can shift everything into a perspective shift on it being a win in moving us forward if we condition ourselves to think that way.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have Count Your Wins every day.
Count Your Wins. That's number 1 of 4. Are you enjoying this so far? Are you learning? Are you amped up? Give us some hearts on the monitor here so we can get some feedback to let us know that you're enjoying this. We're going to keep rolling. 50 shares is what we're looking for today, so please help us out. Number 2, review your direction. We talked about this yesterday as well.
How ironic.
But it's important stuff.
It's essential
I
stuff.
am going to explain the why of this really simply. Are you ready? You compare yourself to everybody. And mic drop, I'm done. You compare yourself to everybody. You go on Facebook, you look at the pretty girl, the handsome guy, the money, the houses, the relationships. You're like, oh, that's not me. It's never going to be me. And you're looking at their highlight reel and you're looking at the editing room floor of your own life and you're making a comparison. And then, you know what you do? You end up completely sabotaging your own self-worth.
Yep.
And that causes you to procrastinate. It causes you to throw your hands up in the air and say, I'll never be able to achieve that. It causes you to self-doubt, it causes you to overthink, and it causes you to stop. Why do we review our direction every single day? To make sure that our brains are top of the mind aware of what race we're running. We want to know what race we're running. Not what she's running, what he's running, what they're doing. What race, what track are we on? If we review that direction every single day, we keep it top of the mind. And again, we change the synapses in the brain and the language in the unconscious to keep us on track. That is a massive, massive important part of these 4 things.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to add to that with regards to the direction and like the comparison to other people.
Yeah.
We're so easily influenced by ourselves and our own negative thoughts as well as the outside world, right? And the number of times I'm just going to use fitness for example. A woman who I know, she wants to lose 20 pounds, so she starts on this fitness journey.
Yeah.
But then somewhere across her news feed comes this potential training opportunity or this strategy, and before she knows it, she's doing something completely different than where she started.
Yeah.
When you review your direction every single day, you're taking, you're kind of doing this mini assessment. Like, am I on the path that I created for myself?
Yep.
Am I moving forward? Why am I doing this? Envisioning the direction you're going so that you can stay on that path and you're not, a squirrel over here and over here and over here.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to scroll back.
I know. I was going to say
I'm going to scroll back, and I know at the end we're going to do this, but I want you all to listen to this. Billy Reuter, counting wins at the end of the day literally shifted everything for me. Rambier, counting wins was the game changer. These are people we've worked with.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Rambier and Billy right now are in a entrepreneurial mastermind that I run. So these are entrepreneurs, business people. We haven't talked about tactics and strategies and tools and Facebook ads and putting videos out on Facebook in the same script that every fucking other people are also putting on. We count wins every day. And there are 2 successful entrepreneurs saying, it changed my life.
Yeah,
you know what? If I were to scroll, I'd see more and more. Tiffany Maxim, Lisa Arsenault, everybody's chiming in.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the thing. You ready? You like the wins, but how about the direction? Are you charting where you're going every single day?
Right.
That is an essential part of it all.
Absolutely.
Number 3, by the way, 50 shares today, people. Yeah. Let's get this shared out. Are you digging this? Give us some hearts. This one's big, and it's the one you suck at.
It's the one that, like,
you suck at
this.
You suck at this, but Eliminate Your Limits, the Brian and Carrie Daily Personal Journal. This is the tool, the gold mine, the thing that's going to make you stop sucking at this. Okay? Here it is. Learn your language. Okay? Now listen carefully. You know what? No, I'm not even going to the science. I don't care. I was going to talk about bias filters and how everything that comes into you, right, filters through a bias you have that's based on a perspective you keep that has been built by the influences you've incurred in your life. That filter is what takes the absolute actual experience and changes it to morph to fit your perspective. Case in point, we have a client who thought all was lost and she failed. That's her bias filter. Carrie didn't see it that way. Carrie was like, are you kidding? This is the most beautiful thing in the entire world. Excellent, excellent, good for you. That's her bias filter. That bias filter, there is no absolute truth. There's your perspective. That's all there is, right? There's no absolute truth. This is good, this is bad. I failed, I didn't fail. There's no truth. There's how you perceive things through that bias filter. Once the incoming data goes through that filter, it starts to trigger thoughts and emotions. Those thoughts and emotions catalyze your actions and habits. So if you are chronically telling yourself you failed, if you are chronically telling yourself, I'm working on it, if you're chronically calling yourself fat or lazy or I don't know what to do, then guess what? That is what your actions become. They become suppressed. They become scarce. They become not affirmative and not success oriented. I could have told you all that science, but I'm not going to.
You know you just did, right?
Yes. Learning your language is critical. You must every single day listen to how you're talking to yourself and then do something about it, which Carrie's going to explain.
You know, I want to add first that we have these 4 strategies together for a reason. Because they all support one another.
Yeah.
Right? So you learn your language, and then everybody's next question is, what do I do about it?
Yes.
Well, that happens, what you do about it happens in the counting your wins.
Yeah.
Because you're shifting it in counting wins to a more positive serving language, right?
Yeah.
So did you want to address something? Because you chuckled. I wasn't sure somebody said something funny.
I laughed because Lisa Arsenault said that only I can drop F-bombs and make her smile.
Right. So,
fuck.
So I think that, learning your language, my suggestion is always to do a checkpoint on it in the morning, first thing in the morning. And people are so quick to say that, but that's no big deal. You don't recognize the degree to which your language that's perpetual and ongoing is actually creating your day. And so the best place I'm going to start is you wake up first thing in the morning, and before you're even out of the bed, before you've even opened your eyes, your brain clicks on to, oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
How am I going to get through this day? I have to go and do this. I have to go and do that. Oh, I'm so worried about this meeting that I have at work today. Your feet haven't even hit the floor yet. And that's what your language is feeding at you.
And it's fucking you.
Right?
It's completely screwing with you.
By the time you actually wake up and you get out of the bed, now you've set in motion a series of behaviors throughout the day that is based on those thoughts that you had in bed. So start your checkpoint first thing in the morning. Learn your language. In our nifty little journal,
excuse me, sorry.
there is a part every day for you to sit and pause and actually sit and listen.
Yeah.
What are my thoughts saying to me? What is my language saying? And you jot it down.
Right. I'm going to read from the hymnal, Let's Eliminate Your Limits, the Brian and Carrie Journal. Learn your language. Think about your current goals that you're working towards. Do not filter your thoughts or feelings as they come to you. Simply write down all the limiting thoughts and feelings that come to the top of your mind. Now, what do you do with those? Well, we're going to explain over the next couple of weeks. What do you do with those limiting thoughts? You're bringing awareness to them now. Carrie's explained why they screw with you. I've explained the science behind it. It's all in the Let's Eliminate Your Limits, Brian and Carrie Daily Journal.
Nice.
Why aren't you smiling yet?
I
was trying to be so cute there.
I got distracted by your mouth. I'm sorry.
God.
I legitimately, that's what just happened. So that's learning your language. And the one thing I want to add here is that what you're going to notice is that you're going to checkpoint yourself in the morning, but all of a sudden throughout the day, you're going to start to tune in more and more to when your thoughts are going to that negative place.
I agree. So, are you digging this so far? Because we have one more, and then we're going to get to your comments and questions, but give us some hearts. Are you digging this? Are you picking up what we're laying down? The 4 essential musts? every single day.
You're killing everybody with this book.
I'm not trying to. Sure. Keep taunting us, says Tiffany. I love that.
Brian, a couple of points ago, said the unbuyable book.
Oh, it's coming, son. Brian Bagel Brains. I love that nickname for you now. All right, what is number 4, guys? What is number 4? Thank you for the hearts. Don't forget, 50 shares. Let's do this together. The world needs to know. The last of the essentials is something called imagine your outcome. Okay, now I'm gonna be brief but really strong with this. Okay, your unconscious mind, and we're gonna do a show on what the unconscious is, and because you've read all the books about the power of the unconscious mind, you ever notice that those Facebook statuses, posters, and books on the unconscious, they stay in the ethers of spiritual stupidity, meaning it's just do this, but no one says what to do about your unconscious if it's fighting you, right? So let me say this about the unconscious: it is the most powerful mechanism you own, but for all of that power, it's stupid, right? And here's why it's stupid: it cannot discern between real versus imagined. It can't. So I want you to think of it this way, okay? How often are you afraid, worried about, anxious towards shit in your life that hasn't even fucking happened yet? And if you're honest with me right now, every single day is your answer. You're forecasting things to be afraid of. And what if I run out of money? What if I get hurt and I can't squat and my bum gets fat? What if I never find a love? You're making up shit to be afraid of. Yeah. Okay? So, do you want me to dwindle down success to one sentence? You're using your imagination the wrong way. That's it. So, imagine your outcome is a way of us teaching you how to harness your imagination a different direction. Whatever picture, emotions you put into your unconscious, consistently, your unconscious accepts as real. It accepts as true. It cannot discern between real and imagined. So if you put it in there consistently, your unconscious says, okay. Yeah. And that is your bias filter. So it then starts to loop emotions and thoughts, which trigger actions and habits. Your unconscious, it's the linchpin. It makes everything work. If you are missing parts of your life, success or money or business or fitness or love or self-worth, you're imagining shit the wrong way and your unconscious is hearing you. So it is creating the reality that you're telling it you have. So tell it something different. Yeah. That's the 4th.
You know, I want to add to that because I think that this is the place where we think about the law of attraction. And so many people misuse that whole concept, right?
Oh, yeah,
that if completely. I imagine it one time, right, one day, it will come.
Well, or without doing any action or work for
exactly.
it, right?
And I'm really not trying to be I'm not trying to be judgmental when I say this at all.
I'm happy to be judgmental.
But the number of people who've actually said to me, if I sit down and I just manifest it, it's going to happen.
That word kills
but
me.
There is a process to manifestation. There is a process to law of attraction. And, that's the reason, again, I want to go back to the fact that we do this daily, right? Yes. Because we...
What do we do daily?
We do everything that's in here daily. You have to imagine your outcome daily.
Yes.
And those other 4 elements go with that. Because if you start imagining this vision, but all of a sudden negative language comes in, well, you get to check the negative language.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you get to count your wins that you based on that imagination, that vision that you've created, right? And I want to give an example, a real life example. A couple of weeks ago, you and I were up in the mountains, or a couple weeks ago, 2 months ago, we were up in the mountains, and we were talking about how much we loved it up there, and how much we wanted to be up there more often. So we're like, you know what, maybe we're going to get a second place up here. Yeah. So we started to talk to a real estate agent, and
Who's watching right now?
Sean's watching right now. Sean sent us a bunch of homes to look at, and there was one home in particular, the one that we have, by the way, that really, really hit a chord with me, and I showed you. From that point forward, literally every day, I imagined our life in that home. I imagined Brian cooking dinner and having a glass of wine and entertaining friends, every single step of that day, right? Now, that's what imagine your outcome is. Yeah. You're gonna get that vision, that goal that you're creating, and you're gonna paint a picture, a storyboard, a movie. Imagine scenes to that vision that you're creating, and then replay it over and over and over in your mind. And then everything else lines up with that.
That's imagining your outcome. Look, I have no problem saying that most of the manifester experts in the world are crackers. They're complete quacks who are trying to make a buck off of ignorance that people have. This is scientific. It is not namby-pamby, but there's also a method to it. You don't just dreamscape what you want, and as long as you're listening to Buddhist music, it's all going to come true because it's a spiritual thing. It's a consistency. It's a simplicity of an image consistently held in your mind that then begin to reshape your actions, habits, and behaviors. And that's the story Carrie just told. Yes, I mean, we were up in the mountains at a hotel, so you know what? We should get a place up here. And we both got viscerally attached to that. Like, we were like, wow, emotively, yeah, let's do this. So we started putting a plan of action into place. Yeah. You need to take action. It's not just about eating gobbles of junk food and saying, I don't know why I'm not losing weight, I'm manifesting it. Like, you have to put but the imagining the outcome you want is what starts shaping the actions, habits, and behaviors. All of this talk of you need more willpower, you need more dedication, it's all bullshit. You don't. You need to flip the switch of the linchpin, which is your bias filter. Mm-hmm. When you flip that switch, everything changes. Yeah. Nobody needs more willpower. I mean, you know what cracks me up? It cracks me up when, like, success expert men say to women, you need more willpower. You gave birth. You squeezed a watermelon out the size of a hole this big, and you need more fucking willpower? No, I think you've got willpower. I think that guy expert, if he had to do what you did, he'd be sucking his thumb to this day in a fucking fetal position, crying. You stop letting people, you don't need more willpower. You need to hack the system. Mm-hmm. And the system's all up here. Right. And yes, I'm going to tease you. This is the hack.
Tease one more time.
This is the hack.
You know, we're going to.
Did I offend anybody with the?
You don't offend anybody. People love it when you swear. As you were talking, and we're talking about this manifestation thing, I had this flashback, and you're going to remember this. Yeah. And I'm going to say her name, Genevieve Miller. If you're watching this, you're going to remember this moment. So, like 4 years ago, we had a clinic here in Montreal, and we taught this on site, right? Yeah. And I'll never forget when we were talking about imagination and imagining your outcome. Genevieve sat down because this is the influence she had got from all the manifestors.
I remember this so well.
So she's like, she's sitting there. She's like, you could see her thinking, right? And you could just there was something going on in her head. And she goes, so what you're telling me is that I have to sit down and just think about it and it's going to happen?
No.
She's like, this is what people keep telling me. She goes, but you have to do something. And our answer was yes, absolutely. Yes. But that is the influence that she's been under. And so many people have been under, and then you get frustrated when you don't have what you want.
That's fired up.
Sorry.
Right there. Guys, did you enjoy today's show? Give us some hearts. Give us some comments. Let's scroll back up and see what people are saying. Let's not forget, 50 shares today, guys. Let's do this together.
I love what Brian Sakowitz said. He said, this feels like the beginning of a self-discovery journey.
Yes!
Okay. Absolutely.
Brian,
beautiful. Every
ounce of success in life is about self-discovery. Look, when we know ourselves, we can do anything. And I don't say those words with, ignorance. You can do anything. But you need to understand yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't need another tool, another strategy, another tactic. You need to understand yourself better. And I could go on a long diatribe about how much I have disdain for fitness, business, and relationship experts who all they ever give is just do this. Mm-hmm. Video like everybody else. Date night. We have to go on a date night, so we have sex. What the fuck? Get to know yourself. When you understand what's limiting you, what's holding you back, where your biases are, and you have a process to change it all, you can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron Johnson says, my language is one of the worst features. I'm so negative. It's no easy task eliminating those thoughts. The first thing I want to say...
Look at your own language right there.
Is it's actually easier and more simple than I think people think it is.
Yes.
The problem is that you've just never really been shown how to do it.
100%.
We and I'm not going to get into the whole academic system right now, but I will say this. The two things that I think we need to learn most in school are how to become self-aware of our, and the other one is finances. And we don't learn either one of those.
Right.
You have not been equipped. We just haven't been equipped as a society to be able to take care of ourselves on this level. So you have to do it yourself.
I want to add, and Aaron, this is not me, like, no, I want to go back to that for a second. This is not me, like, challenging you. This is me giving a great teaching point to something you said.
Example.
Everybody listen, okay? My language is one of my worst features. I am so negative. It's no easy task with eliminating those thoughts. Mm-hmm. Well, that's bad language.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking to Aaron, I'm talking to all of you. Yeah. If you are forever talking about the failure you had, if you're ever talking about, well, I'm learning, I'm in process, it's a challenge, it's no easy task, well, that's your language. Your unconscious is listening, and it is reflecting back at you in a big ass mirror. So if you keep telling yourself you're a failure, that this isn't easy, your unconscious says, okay, and it builds barriers of overthinking, self-sabotage, self-doubt, and procrastination to make sure that what you're saying to yourself comes true.
Right.
So say different shit.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be flippant. That in and of itself requires a process of simplicity and consistency.
Yeah.
Let me just show you that.
Yeah, and I want to
simplicity and consistency. Go ahead.
I want to come back around to a final point on this whole thing. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Because we are not sitting here saying that you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be 100% perfect with all of this stuff.
We're not.
Right? And I think that is so important to say that it's not about being perfect in this. It's not about never having a negative thought ever again, because that's not going to happen.
Right.
It's about starting to make every single day better. 5 years ago, we weren't where we are today. 6 months ago, we weren't where we are today.
And 5 years from now, we're going to be even better than we are now.
Absolutely.
And we're pretty fucking epic.
So don't layer onto yourself the annoyance and the frustration of the fact that you're not there yet.
Yeah.
There is no there. There's just a continuation.
Absolutely.
So just hold that in context as you're taking all this information in.
The soil is more important than the seed, and this is the nourisher of that soil. We'll have a lot more information about the Let's Eliminate Your Limits Brian&Carrie journal coming out over the next few weeks. Quick announcement, we're going to be in Spain hosting a retreat next week, but guess what? 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll still be live.
Wednesday through Friday.
We're going to go live from our villa in Barcelona, so we're looking forward to see you then. But until then, come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you like today's episode, give us some hearts, and please, let's go 50 shares today. The world needs to know it. No one's broken. We're getting shitty advice, but there is a solution.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much
See you
for watching.
tomorrow.
The hearts are rolling in.